Oh, well, let me clarify the comment. So it wasn't just because they're moving to a new stadium. If we look back over the history of the past few years, um, they bought Carlos Grezzo for about $1.5 million reportedly. Christian Coleman was about $2 million himself. So the past 2 years, they've spent millions of dollars on a player.
Right.
So and it increased. So 1.5, then to 2, and then I'm going to go with a pattern. If you see a pattern in something, I'm more likely to go with it. So I'm going to suppose they're going to spend even more money, and the stadium thing is there. 2018, the Hall of Fame, all those Hall of Fame tickets they supposedly sold. That plays a factor in this. That certainly plays a factor. As far as who they would go after, I don't know.
Probably some no-name Latin American guy that we don't know about, but he's probably ends up being really good.
I mean, it's got to be an attacking type player. God, well, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
That's who I would bring in. I don't know. I guess if you were going to sell Kellen, eventually they're going to sell Kellen. I'd probably try to get him maybe Andres Guardado.
That'd be interesting.
Similar position there. Because I do think there is obviously a Mexican national team market that can be tapped into. Guardado would be an interesting one. I don't think about that one a lot. I don't think about that one a lot.
Well, you were gonna say something?
Yeah. So, you think Kellen's gonna be sold by the end of the year in the winter transfer window?
They are going to try like hell to not sell him in August.
Right.
But that has to be ran through the club, Major League Soccer, and Costa. There's 4 parties involved with the club, whoever is buying him.
Well, see, and with Kellen, it's even more complicated. You got to think about from his perspective, okay? He would likely, well, there wouldn't be much preseason that he'd have at this point if he moved now. But there's a little soccer tournament going on next summer.
Yeah,
I believe y'all heard of it, called the World Cup.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. I'm excited to finally see what the hype's all about.
So nowadays, when players are moving, it's all about 2018 World Cup. And Kellen could not be on the roster, or he could be a starter on the team. So his decision right now will shape whether he's on that roster or not.
Wouldn't it make more sense for him to stay, though, knowing that he's going to get the starter? Because Bruce Arena, I mean, likes him. There's an obvious reason why he's starting the Gold Cup semifinal and final. And although I don't think they were his best performances, not even close. I think he's kind of slumped of recently. But wouldn't it make more sense for 2018 for him to stay in Major League Soccer with a coach who does like Major League Soccer and the players?
I think if he's not sold in August, he's not going to be sold in January. I don't think he's going to go join a team mid-season, and then that's even tougher to break into, and then that's your lead up to the World Cup. If he's going to go, he's going to go in August, or it's going to be the following August after the World Cup. Him moving in January for his World Cup chances makes no sense. That's what I think. For him, for the team, obviously selling him in January is ideal, but for him, he doesn't want to move in January because you're coming into a team mid-season and trying to break into that while trying to get those solid minutes to lead up to the World Cup. So if he wants a move, he's going to want it now. And from a player's perspective, I understand, especially with the World Cup hanging over his head.
How much of a transfer fee do you think he'll fetch?
Depends on sell-on fees, bonuses, and stuff like that. If you told me that we could have, if we got, say,
5,
I would take 3 to 4 if you gave me like 50% sell-on or something like that. I would take less. I would take less money if you give me more sell-on. I mean, I have that much confidence in his potential.
Right.
So I'd take less money for the chance that he's going to even get better and move on to another league. Say it does good. You know, the team out there has been PSV a lot. So say you sell him to PSV for $3 million, but you keep 50% sell-on rights, and he's great there for 2 years, and then say a Premier League team comes and spends $10 million, and you're getting half that money. That's what I would structure a deal, and I think FC Dallas should structure more deals like that, with sell-on and everything like that.
Yeah. So to put it back to a national perspective, we've seen the issues when it comes to national attention, but another issue is the off the field here, specifically in Dallas. Any comments on what happened with the little Twitter fiasco when Zeke Elliott was suspended by the NFL for 6 games, and then the official Twitter handle of FC Dallas tweets? Now, I don't have the tweet off right in front of me, but something like, "Hey Ezekiel, we got 6 home games left." What's going on with FC Dallas? Because the marketing has been really, really bad from their end, and it is really starting to take its toll when it comes to this national attention that we were just talking about.
So let me preface this by saying I don't get offended by – it takes a lot to offend me. When I initially read that, I didn't take it as a domestic violence joke. But in this day and age, on social media, a lot of people get offended rather quickly. And I'm not even trying to make fun of those people. People take things differently. So I could see where people would take that seriously. So, yeah, I mean, that's just something you can't do. And their social media team changed a lot this year. So I think they brought on even more social media conscious people, less soccer FC Dallas diehards, more social media people. So I was really surprised to see that, to be honest with you. But as far as the marketing goes, is social media marketing? What is marketing when it comes to a soccer team? How do you market a soccer team?
Well, I mean, for example, you see billboards in Atlanta. You see the purple in Orlando. Dallas, on the other hand, you walk downtown and you don't see anything of FC Dallas. You don't even know that there's a soccer team. You would never know, that they even existed. You could barely drive by you could drive on the tollway right next to it and miss the stadium.
That's fair. I think what FC Dallas has mostly done for their marketing is just rely on their academy kids to talk to their friends. It seems like,
Yeah.
That's what it feels like a lot of the time. Your academy, the kids in your academy are pretty much just walking billboards themselves.
I mean, that's true, but when you do take a look at Major League Soccer and you see the powerhouses of Orlando, Seattle, Portland, Toronto, the New York clubs, Montreal, even they were Sporting KC, you do get the sense that they are professional, and sometimes here in Dallas, and even nationally speaking, Dallas still feels like a second-tier club.
I feel like they're really minor league in some sorts. I mean, it's just some of the things they do, the antics they do off the field leaves me every week saying, wow, they really did this.
Well, there you go. Well, I'll toss a question back to you about this. If a Dallas soccer team was brought into MLS today as a new team, what do you think the attendance would be for it?
The hype would be bigger. The attendance would be greater. Now, we're talking the same location.
Yes, same location. I
think the hype would be different because I think their stadium – I think another aspect of the attendance issue is how bad their stadium is. There's no roof. In temperatures during the summer where they reach well above 100, and we know that, and at 8 p.m. they're still stuck in high 80s, low 90s. You're talking about a marketing failure from that aspect. Who wants to sit in that weather? Who wants to watch the game in that temperature when you're not even watching the best players?
Aren't people doing that at the Rangers games? Aren't they just sitting out in the sun in the middle of summer too? I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, you can make that argument. Rangers doing the same thing. I mean, that's why they're trying to spend $8 billion on an air-conditioned stadium.
Right.
To me, from what I think if you rebranded and it was a brand new MLS team in Dallas today, I think it would be Atlanta-like. And by that thought process, I think the front office is probably fractured some relationships. I've heard of fractured relationships, especially with other youth soccer clubs. So
due to what?
From what I know, and I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, was that, I mean, you're basically poaching players.
You're talking to me about this.
I talked to you about this, exactly. So if you're the Dallas Texans and you lost a kid to FC Dallas, I mean, how happy are you going to be about that? I mean, I know we talked about solidarity payments and stuff like that. I mean, how much are you willing to help out, or even anything like that? I think FC Dallas needs to do a better job with getting better bonds with these local youth soccer clubs. I think that would be a big deal.
Well, I was to say thank you so much for joining us. You can what is your shameless? We got a little segment called the Shameless Plug.
Yes. So at the 19th minute, we're on there all the time. We have a Facebook. I honestly don't update it that much, and we also recently did a partnership a few weeks ago with a website called Dallas Sports Fanatic. If you ever heard of MavsFanatic.com, used to be a blog that covered the Mavs. They've rebranded to cover all Dallas sports, and they did not have any FC Dallas content. They found us, and we're posting our podcast on their site.
Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. But yeah, DallasSportsFanatic.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter at the 19th minute, or I'm on Twitter too, at CoolKenny27. I'm the fat guy in the ball kid shirt.
The fat guy.
There you go. Well, we appreciate it. It's always nice to look at some local clubs here. So we definitely appreciate you joining us.
Certainly.
Thanks, Kenny.
Certainly, man. I'll come back anytime.
It's always nice to get a smaller club perspective, just a local perspective.
Especially
whether it's
Kenny. Kenny's a great guy too.
Yeah, Kenny's a great guy. I mean, obviously we're based here in Dallas, but it was interesting talking to Jeff about Minnesota not too long ago, and then hopefully in the coming weeks we'll get maybe somebody from what do you call it, New York or
Houston?
Portland, Houston. Be interesting.
Are we hinting at things?
Yeah, maybe. VAR back in the headlines, and it's not necessarily for the good reasons.
Controversy.
Lots of controversy.
At the game we were at last night.
And we have two different perspectives because we were both at the same game, but one of us sat in the press box, the other one sat in the crowd. So I got some gripes with that Major League Soccer and what they need to fix if they want to continue to implement VAR.
So should I explain the situation?
And there's multiple other situations we get across the league. Obviously, Kaká made big headlines, but then in Houston and San Jose there was something. But let's begin with Dallas because there was actually two controversial calls. First one being, which the referee got right, the Kellyn Acosta dive.
Oh, yeah. Horrible dive.
Horrible dive. Now, let me ask you, Armand. Does the league implement some sort of suspension where they can go back to look if they dove? Because the Premier League has started that this season.
They do have something like that, and it's not just for diving. It's all or something like that. It's also for challenges and whatnot. The league will go through, and they can suspend players for simulation and whatnot.
So Kellyn Acosta might either feel a suspension coming or his wallet will be feeling it.
Yeah,
Secondly,
absolutely.
If that would have been called a penalty, the referee would have gone back and looked.
Right.
He obviously dove. Now, would he have given Kellyn Acosta a yellow card for that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to see how, but the big incident coming in the 46th minute,
47th minute.
47th minute.
It was in stoppage time of the first half.
Yes.
Well, to put some perspective, we'll start the play back. Just imagine a soccer field. Colorado's on the ball. Atiba Harris hits Dominique Badji from behind. Christian Coman takes the ball from about the 30 or 40 yard line, takes it all the way down, finds Maxi Urruti. Maxi Urruti slots it in goal, and everyone's celebrating. Woo, scored! Yeah, goal, good job, team. And then all of a sudden, you see the ref just start walking to the TV, a sideline TV. And we're like, why is this being reviewed? What happened? Turns out they waved the goal off because of the foul by Atiba Harris on Badji, and they put the ball back where Badji was fouled. Now, I was in the box when I saw that, and I was still a little confused. You were in the stands. Give me your perspective on that.
Well, okay, so I was on my phone. Of course I was. Game was boring.
Right.
It was trash.